Hello, Black women. So I don't know if it's the moon or Mars or if Mercury is in microbraids, but it seems like a lot of people have been dysregulated and super mad at other people's peace this week. So, inspired by observations I've made in real life and on the internet, I would like to talk about it, why it happens, what it reveals, and how you can keep your peace when your peace seems like it's become a problem. Because lately, I've been noticing this pattern. It's like everywhere I turn, people in my real life and online are getting like set off just because somebody has stated an opinion, asked for safety in a conversation. I had that happen recently, or simply just chooses their peace. So let's talk about it. If you are new here, I am Rashni Cope, also known on the internet as Glamazini. I am a certified life coach and a longtime content creator, and I help Black women heal, amplify their gifts, and create lives that love them back. Okay. Wherever you are watching, drop a pineapple emoji in the chat and let me know where you are watching from. Hi, Jana. Jana is watching from Antigua. Hello. Hi. I am live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube today. Let's do some quick housekeeping. First thing is our next live group coaching call for the Pineapple Crowns membership is this Sunday, October the 19th. And the last accountability call for last year's virtual planning retreat, which is wild. We are on our 10th accountability call. And I'm so proud of you ladies. If you're watching this, now we're on the replay, is also on Sunday, October the 19th, which is coming up. The next planning retreat for December of this year is open for enrollment right now. And there will be more about that at the end, or you can visit glamazini.com and check it out if you are in a rush. Okay. The second thing is, as you notice, I am filming in a different spot. Okay. I tried I set it up earlier and there was nothing behind me. It looked super bland. And so I tried to bring out some of the usual suspects so that you guys would recognize me. Okay. For some reason, my diffuser is running, but you can't see the vibes. I can hear the vibes, but you can't see the vibes, which is annoying me. But I couldn't get it. I couldn't figure it out. So I gave up. Okay. And why am I in a different space? Because I am creating a life that I love. Hello. That loves me back. And I pray that you are doing the same. Okay. Now, let's move on to why people could be triggered by your peace and why it is that when you start choosing healing and choosing differently, people can get uncomfortable. Yeah. First, let me give you some examples of what actually inspired today's video. This week, I kept noticing people reacting extremely strongly, like emotionally dysregulating, spewing all over the place just because I or someone else calmly stated a boundary, right? A boundary is what I will do and what I won't do, my yes and my no. Okay. I stated an opinion. Yeah. Or I said, hey, that does not feel safe. Okay. And I started watching similar things happen in other online spaces this week too, which is what inspired today's video. For example, Exodus Summit was an online virtual summit that happened last weekend. And I saw in several spaces people calling Exodus Summit a scam. And one lady said it was the oldest trick in the book. And I actually put up a vertical video about that. Okay. I even saw people calling coaching and teaching a scam. I don't understand it. Meanwhile, meanwhile, sorry, I got lip gloss on my mic. Meanwhile, the women in my coaching membership, the women participating in my virtual planning retreat accountability calls, The women actually at the Exodus Summit, these women are getting free. These women are getting clear. These women are getting results. These women are getting to the money. And these women are creating lives that they love, that wildly love them back. So I'm looking at the 2 different types of people, and I'm thinking, "What's going on here? Is it actually a scam? Or just or is your nervous system just not used to peace?" Okay. Hydration. My best friend gave me this. "You are amazing," because uh, the okay? Glamorous, amazing Amazon Rushni, okay? Let me see what Jana says. Jana says, "I'm the youngest at my job. I'm new to the field, but I'm learning and doing pretty well. For some reason, that bothers a coworker who's years older than me and has been there for 10 plus years." I'm gonna break it down for you, Jana. You keep going, okay? You keep going, all right? Regardless of how polite I am. Oh, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. I'm so glad you're here. She's very disgruntled and very bothered by my very presence, just your very presence. And I'm going to tell you why. But I'm happy in choosing peace. Nothing is ever that serious. Nothing. So let's talk about it. Everybody get their notebooks out. We're going to do a little nervous system 101. If you don't know anything about the nervous system, I like to break it down because it was the key that unlocked so many things in my healing journey for me in a way that nothing else did. All right, let's break it down. A regulated nervous system means that your body feels safe, it feels grounded, and you feel steady, right? Not unstable, you feel steady. That means you feel safe in 3 areas. You feel safe with yourself, internal safety. Hmm. You feel safe with others, external safety. Yeah. And you feel safe on the planet, like in life in general. Okay. I'm going to call that global safety. It means you can think clearly. You got access to that prefrontal cortex. You can listen to others without getting dysregulated and defensive. And you can rest without feeling guilt or shame. Now, I know that's a lot for some people, but that's what a regulated nervous system actually feels like. Now, a dysregulated nervous system, write this down, means you or they are living perpetually in survival mode. You are in a constant state of stress response, fight response, flight response, freeze response, fawn, all the responses. Okay. You're on high alert, always scanning, hypervigilant, trying to figure out where you are in danger so that you can curate your perceived safety. Even if there isn't any danger, right? Because sometimes the danger is just a callback to a feeling you had in your upbringing and you are unaware of that. So like Jana said, when a dysregulated person meets someone who is regulated, their body gets confused. Their body gets confused. Let me say that again. When a dysregulated person encounters a regulated, calm person, they are having a physiological response. Their body gets confused. Their body starts saying to them, whether they know it or not, wait, oh, why this person so calm? Ah, something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. I gotta fix it. I gotta save myself. I gotta find safety. Okay. And then boom, they react. Not respond, react. Because dysregulated people react. Regulated people can pause and then choose to respond or not. So when you encounter this, it has nothing to do with what you did. Janice said, regardless of how polite I am, she's very disgruntled and very bothered by my very presence. It's because you are making her scan and hypervigilant for safety by being so regulated. It has nothing to do with what you did. People who are dysregulated, who encounter a regulated, calm person, feel unsafe in the presence of what safety actually feels like. So, you feeling grounded, you feeling steady, you feeling stable, you presenting as calm feels like a rejection to someone who is addicted to other people reacting just like they are. They are used to a reaction Olympics. Ba, 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 right? And so here you come, chill AF, relaxed, calm, regulated. And they don't know what to do. So they start reacting to the discomfort of being seen by someone else who is actually very steady and centered because their body does not trust the stillness yet. I'll say yet because everybody's on a journey, right? And so they can learn to trust the stillness. They can learn to trust the stillness. Hydration. Yes, I have multiple drinks. Okay. This is my what do you call this stuff? Zena Super Greens situation. Mixed with a little tea from Green Heifer Farms, black owned farm. Okay. A little Insanity. Keep me calm AF. Okay. What does she call it? Botanical unbotheredness. Okay. Anyway. So I say that they can learn how to trust stillness because I know what it feels like to be dysregulated because it used to be me. And sometimes it still is. All right. This is a lifelong journey. A Black woman healing with ing on the end. Okay. When I was living in a constant state of stress, running off fumes and trying to fix everything and everyone so I could feel safe, Rashni, the person you looking at, I experienced calm, steady, regulated people as boring. I experienced them as dismissive. I'm gonna tell on myself. I experienced them as disconnected and detached and emotionally unavailable. I experienced them as quiet. And I'm not even gonna lie, I experienced them as irritating sometimes. Irritating. Okay. But now I know, and I am teaching you guys that they were not unsafe, actually. They were mirrors to the fact that my body was not used to peace. So when you start healing and resting, and you start setting boundaries and you start intentionally choosing peace and creating your life, you are going to trigger people who choose to equate chaos with connection. It's just going to be part of the journey. Janice says that's wild. What's wild is she's very knowledgeable, much more than me, but that very attitude has held her back. In just 2 years, I've gotten promoted twice. I love a team environment and just try to focus. And I want you to keep focusing. Notice her and pray for her, listen, or whatever your spiritual practice is, and move on with your day. Especially if you are young, this is something that you can learn to accept about life and life being messy and things not always working out in a way that makes sense and move on with your day. And then Jana says, I'm not the most regulated. I need a lot of work, but I'm trying. God knows I'm struggled and brought to this life for a reason. We are all on a journey. Something about your calm presence and your accomplishments is making that coworker dysregulate, and this information will help you. in all the different parts of your life. Okay. So now let's talk about cultural context and crab in a barrel energy. All right. I find that this triggered by other people's peace vibe shows up a lot in our community, especially among high achieving Black women. It shows up in a lot of communities, honestly, that we frequent. But I'm just gonna pop in and say Black excellence, high achieving Black women, okay? Because we are raised on this concept of being strong, right? And not asking for help and doing it on our own and having all the degrees. And we have learned over time to survive by doing action, always do it. So many of us that I encounter, me included, we overfunction, we overgive, and we are trained to see burnout and exhaustion as success, actually, in a lot of spaces, okay? Many of us are perfectly fine with heading up the rough side of the mountain. We think that that's what we're supposed to be doing. So when somebody else starts choosing differently, and when we see a Black woman that says something like, I'm done performing. I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna rest. I don't want all of that stuff. I don't want the degrees. I don't want all the trappings of Black excellence. I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna choose my peace. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna stay hydrated. It can shake the foundation of the whole blasted thing we learned up. Shake it up. And that's because peace looks like laziness to people who only know survival. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Peace looks like, feels like, is perceived as laziness to people who are only familiar with survival. I'm switching hydration on y'all to keep y'all guessing, okay? I'm turning 50 next year. I know y'all don't think I stay this supple without making sure I drink my water and mind my business. So anyway, many of us, me included, don't even recognize what peace is because validly so, we were never allowed to rest long enough to feel peace in our minds, in our souls, and especially in our bodies, in our nervous system. Peace is unfamiliar. We are unacquainted with it. And so, just like the dysregulated people I mentioned earlier, when we encounter peace, it can feel unsafe. It can feel unsafe. So, when somebody else now encounters peace, it mirrors back to dysregulated women what we are often afraid to admit, especially in spaces of Black high achieving women. And that is that the chaos that we have normalized in the Black excellence spaces and so many other spaces that we frequent is not sustainable. It leads to burnout. The end of the conveyor belt that we are often on leads to burnout. And if you aren't, if that person who's choosing peace is not steeped in chaos like you are, then you don't have to be steeped in chaos either. It makes that person have to grapple with the fact that that choice of chaos is an actual choice and not something they have to do. Butterfly Lady says, when I was young, I had to hide to take naps on the weekend. My mom wanted me up and busy doing something. I am 61 and it took COVID for me to learn to rest. My God, on today. I hope that you continue developing a abundant rest practice that lets you recuperate every minute of rest that you did not get to have before that. That's what I hope for you. Okay. So, because people are being acquainted with peace and realizing that this woman over here, she chill AF. Why am I so frantic? How come she get to do that? How come she get to be so peaceful? And then realizing, wait a minute, this might actually be a choice. There are options. What? I could choose something else. That I feel like is what I have been seeing all these people who are out here mocking peace, mocking healing, dismissing something, or dysregulating in comments over a regular conversation, a boundary, or an opinion. I literally have a woman right now in my TikTok comments calling me a Pharisee, saying she hates church people, and flailing out over a video I made sharing an opinion and over a comment I made to her saying that I require safety and regulation in my communication in real life and online. And therefore, I have felt unsafe talking to her and I will no longer be responding. Her response to that mirrored all of her previous comments, which was just a dysregulated situation. And it honestly broke my heart because it's a Black woman and I want to see Black women win. Okay. I'm here to help y'all create lives that you love while I do the same. Ain't nobody trying to have you dysregulating in the comment section, speaking to a stranger about a video about a stranger, right? And also, she said that that's why she hates church people. And if you know my church situation right now, that is laughable at best. But anyway, so she's in an alternate reality, but that's okay. The women who are actually showing up, the women who are showing up for things like coaching, classes, planning with intention, they're in therapy, they are sharing here on the internet in real life. They are learning to set boundaries and maintain them. They are making money. They are evolving their life. These women are not being scammed, although they are probably being perceived that way by the people who are dysregulated and unfamiliar with peace. These women are investing in their peace and their creation and their creative energy instead of in chaos and panic. They are investing in creating a life that they love. And they have to listen to the crabs in the barrel thought processes of those who are not. People who don't have peace, people who don't have money, people who don't have boundaries, people who are anti-intellectual, people who don't want to think their own thoughts. They just want to be in spaces that tell them what to think. People who don't have abundance, people who don't have love. They have to those people are investing in that and not in creating their peace because I believe that creative energy has to go somewhere. Just because you wake up in the morning and don't realize that you are a creator made in the image of a creator and you have creative power to create the life that you want, just because you don't realize that doesn't mean that you are not creating something. What you are creating is chaos. Your creative energy is backed up, it's stagnant, and you become a chaos monster in your life and in the lives of others. Okay. But that's a different life. All right. That's a different life. Those people find peace to be foreign because they are still addicted to struggle. So let me ask you this. You could drop your answer in the comments if you'd like. Have you ever noticed people reacting to your peace and your boundaries and your growth negatively? I just told you, drop an answer in the comments if you have. I just told you, the calmer I am and the more I can calmly state an opinion, especially out here on Glamazini's internet, the more likely it is for some contrarian to come in my comment section and start blasting me. Now, granted, there are people who come in and have a different opinion and peacefully share it, and I am thankful for those people. But often, because I have such a large platform across platforms, okay, um, the more I am me and the more I show up calm and articulating my thoughts, it's gonna be somebody in my inbox calling me everything but a child of God. Even when the topics were not serious. When I was making videos about mangoes and beaches and commentary videos on pop culture topics, people would be in my inbox calling me racial slurs. I didn't what? What is happening? Have you ever noticed people reacting to your peace or your boundaries or your growth negatively? Jana says, being a people pleaser. I find when I have boundaries or choose me, it's perceived as selfish or boring. Yeah. I told you when I was on the flip side of this coin, I perceived someone like me right now as selfish, as boring, as detached, as all this negative stuff. And I have grown. I'm breathing on 50's neck. I have grown to understand that that person was probably way ahead of me and I didn't even. And that's why at the stage that I am now in my life, I can only offer to people the shortcut and then move on if they don't recognize it without owning any of it for me to do anything about, right? Because I'm too busy creating my life. Hello? Another question I have you ever been triggered by someone else's peace? I already told you guys. When back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. I would perceive peaceful people, regulated people as boring, detached, quiet, irritating. Lionel says I'm not boring. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm a good time when I want to be, but everybody is able to have their own opinion of me. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's a healthy thing to be the villain in somebody's story. Because if you are positively perceived, this is an entirely different video, but Imma say it. If you are positively perceived by everyone, then I don't think that you are being enough of yourself. I don't think that the goal in life is to be disagreeable to the entire situation, but everybody didn't even like Jesus. So how the heck have you cut off so much of yourself that everybody likes you? You're not being yourself. Okay. Like I said, the more I talk my talk and say what I actually think, the more agitated the little negative spirits are. And some of them will cook up their little typey fingers to be wilding out. Oh, go anyway, so if you have ever noticed people reacting to your peace or your boundaries or your growth negatively, or you yourself have been triggered by somebody else's peace, ask yourself, what did that mirror back to you? Because here's the kicker, peace exposes what pain is trying to cover. Peace exposes what pain is trying to cover. I've already told you guys that I have realized in my own lived life, as well as working with Black women as their coach, that we often are in hypervigilant states, constantly doing, moving, and busy because we are afraid of or we are not confident in our ability to stop and process what we will hear in the stillness. We don't trust it. It feels unsafe. And I've shared with you on many a past life that when I started stopping, resting, and exploring the stillness within myself, you hear the shadow, spoiler, and you hear the light. You do hear the things that you've been trying to avoid. the things that pain have been trying to cover. But then you also start to hear the light. You start to hear the divine. And that's the part that you lean into because that is the return to self and that is where the healing is. That's where the healing is. Okay. Peace exposes what pain is trying to cover. And that's why peace connects you back and to a version of yourself that you have been disconnected to. That's also why I did a video earlier this week. I put up a video called Why Rest Feels Hard, especially for Black women. Because rest and peace and regulation start to pull you out of survival mode. And not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody's nervous system is ready to not be in survival mode. We can be addicted to that state. I was. But guess what? If you are listening to me and watching me on your cellular and or laptop device, okay, desktop device, tablet, congratulations, Black woman, because that is where we are going. And that is what we are creating. The people who are here with me right now, that's what we doing. Okay, that's what we doing. So hopefully in this video, I have helped you understand, right, why people can be triggered by your peace, boo boo. Why you just minding your Black business. And here she go. Here he go. Just traumatized, just yelling at you, just dysregulating, just saying all kind of stuff. Hopefully now you understand a little bit more about why it happens, what it reveals about you and the other person. If you are the person that's triggered by other people's peace, what that reveals about you. And also, hopefully, I have helped you understand how you can keep your peace when other people act like your peace is a problem. Okay? Your peace is a problem. If this video felt good to you, please hit the like button on whatever platform you are on. I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube Live. And please share it on that platform so that I can help other Black women create the lives that they love. If you are on YouTube, I would love it if you subscribed. If you're on any other platform, follow me there and or come over to youtube.com/Glamazini and subscribe. Next week, I will be continuing this conversation on what it actually means to create your life. Okay? Create your life. In my community, I've started going live. I'm going to be talking in my free community about redefining productivity while you heal. Redefining productivity with rest. Okay? Black woman, we got to sit down. Okay? And then next week, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to dibble dabble with y'all about living from a space of enoughness and not always striving and why slowing down can sometimes feel like failure to us, to Black girls. Okay? To Black girls. If you are new here or if you're true here, I would also like to let you guys know that things are evolving in my coaching membership. You've heard me talk about my coaching membership. I am allowing myself to reimagine that space, to slow down, to heal, and to rebuild my coaching and how I teach and educate as well as embody how we learn, heal, and create our lives, um, lives that we actually love, okay? With intention, lives that love us the F back. So to that end, the current Pineapple Crown coaching membership is lovingly, you guys, being absorbed. That sound is so wild. Into my Create Your Year planning retreat. The membership is being absorbed into the planning retreat. Yes, they are merging, okay? And they are becoming one thing, which I am calling Create Your Life Virtual Planning Retreat and 10-month coaching incubator. Did I make a banner? I did. I made a banner. Oh my god, I'm so fancy. Look, I've never been a huge fan of the scrolling banners, but listen, it gets the job done, okay? I should drop it in the comments too. Give me a second. Do I have that to drop in the comments? I'm gonna put it here. Do 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 do. Give me a second, you guys. La da 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 da. Boom. Hopefully it doesn't cut it off. Don't cut it off. It worked. Okay, okay. I dropped it in the comments. Technology is working. Look at me. I'm so fancy. Okay. Anyway, so what is Create Your Life Virtual Planning Retreat and 10-month coaching incubator, Rushni? I'm glad you asked, Black woman. It is a year of clarity, healing, and accountability for Black women who are creating their lives from a place of enoughness. I am your coach, Rushni, and I will be leading you through a focused week at the beginning of the cohort of self paced, retreat based content. That week includes 4 live group calls with me and the other participants. The December cohort will be working on planning their 2026. And then after the first week, you have access to all that information for a year. And you also get 10 live group coaching accountability calls with me and the other planning retreat participants from January to October of 2026. These calls have been amazing. You heard me say the 10th call for last year's retreat is happening this Sunday. I love this because I get to watch these women say they want something in December and then gradually watch them create it through the year. Okay. If you don't believe me, click the link bit.ly/virtual planning retreat. And if nothing else, just read the testimonials. Okay. Your girl is out here changing people's lives. On the accountability calls, we have community, we have consistency, we have accountability, we do it with peace, and we do it with ease. Look, Celeste. Celeste is out here creating a whole entire different life. Okay. Celeste is out here just, I'm so proud. Every time Celeste jump on one of the accountability calls, she is living one of the things she said she wanted. It's the best thing ever. And that's part of why I've combined it because I love watching that happen with everyone. Okay. The other thing I want you guys to know is I will be doing this twice a year, right? The planning retreat, the cohorts will open twice a year, once in December, as usual, and once in June. So if you do not get in on the December retreat, which starts on December 12th, the cohort starts on December 12th, you got to wait until June. Okay. You gotta wait until June. So the December 12th cohort is open right now. The link is on the screen, bit.ly/virtual planner retreat. I've also dropped it in the comment section. Also, if you ever go to glamazini.com and click on Create Your Life Virtual Planning Retreat, you can also find it there. I'm also keeping each cohort intentionally small. I'm not gonna let 1,000 people join, although that would be great if that was what people wanted to do, because I've done this so often that I like when there's a smaller group of women because the group can be more intimate as we create our next year, as well as my coaching can be more effective. So, if you would like to create something based off of your plan and not just a bunch of stuff that people told you you're supposed to want, and then you never do anything with it, you have a pretty vision board, and at the end of next year, your life look exactly the same. If you need help with that, okay? If 2025 turns you every which way but loose, you can fight back by joining us in the planning retreat, bit.ly/virtual planning retreat. The current price is $399 for an entire year of coaching, okay? 14 group calls. The price goes up on November 1st, and then it goes up again on December 1st. The link is all the places, and I invite you to just go, like I said, and read the testimonials. I'm doing that, and it's gonna be that, except better, sprinkled with more healing, okay? Better ingredients, better pizza. Create your life. I crack me up, okay? Ladies, please remember, your piece is valid even if other people are not ready for it. Their reaction is not your responsibility. You are allowed to stay calm, steady, grounded, stable, and regulated, even if other people won't or cannot. Stay grounded. Every storm does not require your participation. Clock it. Be well, you guys. Be encouraged. Keep creating. Here's a pineapple, although I did throw some pineapples behind me. I brought this one to make sure I had a pineapple to show you guys, and then I forgot that I set the ambiance, okay? Bye, y'all. Bye.